Alright guys, so welcome to another video, and these are the broken pieces of a BMW 330i side skirt on the passenger side. You can see here this is the jack block, and it is utterly destroyed. So this piece goes right there and not a chance. So that's garbage, and these are the base thread units for these threaded screws that are supposed to go up there and thread, but the threads are all broken off, so they just slide, they don't grab and hold. You can see here this one has one prong left right there. So here we have a new jack block. So let's get this open and check it out. Wow, look at that. Way better, right? Look at that. Even BMW logo right there. So everything's perfect. Everything looks good. You can see this broken piece. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like right there when it's not broken. And this one, you can just tell it's gone on both sides. So it's just utterly destroyed. So that's really nice. And I got that 10 bucks online. So not bad. So now here's this bag, which I also got for about 10 bucks online. So if we grab some scissors here, there we go, and cut this open, this should have our two-piece fasteners. So basically your nut clip portion of it and the screws, because there's a number of them down the whole side of the car, and I think maybe 3 or 4 of them survived. My daughter ran over a median, those yellow barriers in the middle of the road. I guess she wasn't paying attention, or maybe she went over a curb. I think it's the yellow median, and just destroyed the whole bottom of it. Called me, I went and looked at it, and the whole side skirt was hanging off the car. So now we got to fix it. So you can see here, these ones with the new thread pieces, that threaded fastener is nice and tight and snug in there. And we'll just back thread it back out, and you can see a big difference between the two of them, the broken one and the new one. So those should work nicely as a replacement. And these look about to be the same size. And I'm measuring and looking at all these because I didn't buy them from BMW. I just bought them off eBay. They came from China. So they look like they're about the same size. They got the star head in them right there. They look the same length, the same diameter. Should work okay. So let's hope for the best. But after looking at them a little bit closer, I'm going to show you this right here. That same bag, $10 from China on eBay, I think it was. The stars in them, they don't fit anything, right? So my T30 torque bit, which is what the BMW uses, it doesn't fit in the new ones. So you go to the next size down to a 25 and it just spins inside there. So neither one of these work. That one just is, they're just not molded right. I can't get the 30 in there, and the 25 is too small. So I'll use what good ones I have left, and the ones that I cannot tighten, I'm just going to hand tighten the best I can. And you'll see in the video, to get them in the rest of the way, I just hit them with a hammer. To get them up in there, that'll hold the side skirt on. If you ever need to take the side skirt back off, well, you're just going to have to use a flathead screwdriver and pry them out. But I got a whole bag of them for 10 bucks, so it doesn't matter. Alright guys, so here we are at the car, and the side skirt is just being held on by the clips. I'll show them here to you. There are yellow clips here. They go down the entire length of the car, and when I first saw it, it was just hanging off, and like I said, everything underneath was torn apart, and I just snapped it back into these clips until the new pieces came in. So now let's go ahead and put it back together the correct way. Alright, so here we are out at the car, and you'll see right here is the side skirt. Okay, and if we go look right about there, see here, right about here, let's get the camera under here, you'll see the hole where that jack block should be that we're going to have to fix. So let's see if I can't get a shot of this for you and show you. And you can kind of see it right there. So there is the hole. Right there it is for the jack block that can no longer be held there. And you can see a bunch of scratches and yellow paint, which is why I think it was a yellow curb median, because there's yellow paint all up in all these scratches. And if you noticed when we were above the car, you couldn't see the scratches. So the good thing is that they're not really visible. They're on the bottom side of the skirt. So we're going to go ahead and start taking the skirt off. Alright, so in the back here, there's a couple of bolts. We'll take those off later. So let's just go ahead and feel for our surviving original BMW fasteners and take those out. So we'll get this one out. I think that's loosening the skirt from the underskirting that all BMWs have underneath it for aerodynamics and everything else. So let's go find the other one up here. There's our front jack block. That's doing okay. We'll take this one out, and there's one more in front of the jack block that we'll take out, I think right here. And that should be it for the only original surviving. There they are, the 3 surviving original BMW fasteners. Alright, so now we're back at the back of the car, or the back of the skirt. And let's see if we can get a shot here. There's 2 8mm bolts right here. You can see them. So those 2 we have to take out. So let's just go ahead. Hopefully that light helps a little bit. You can see the 2 fasteners. And I don't know why I'm using a little tiny box wrench when a socket would be easier. So in this case, don't do what I do and use an 8mm socket. It would be much easier and faster. But either way, it got the job done, and we get those bolts out, which are holding in your wheel well liner to the skirt, which we need detached so we can pull the skirt off. Alright guys, so we've got the whole skirt off. And I just want to go over how the front is different than the back. So the front is just flat. There's nothing holding it to the wheel well liner skirt like in the back. So if we go over here to the back, you'll see the 2 nut clips on the skirt where the bolts went into in the back. And the front doesn't have that. So when you're pulling it off, just pull it straight off from the back. So now what we're going to do is take all these clips that stayed on the skirt and put them back on the car. So let's go ahead and get that done in super fast speed, and we will move on to the next step. Alright guys, actually before we move to the next step, I wanted to show you the bottom of the skirt. You saw it a little bit from the other angle, but this is better now that it's off the car. You can see all the damage and scratches and yellow paint on it, but luckily when you put it on the car, you don't see it, it's on the bottom, so we don't need to buy a new one. But we do have to get fasteners for all of these holes, and we do not have enough from the leftovers of the BMW ones. So that is where the parts that we ordered come in so we can finish off these holes. So let's go ahead and keep moving on. Alright, so here we are. We got all of our new pieces that we ordered. These are the nut clips that are going to go between the skirt and the frame of the car. I'll show you how those are installed here in a second. And then we got our extra fasteners that we're going to put in the holes where we were missing original factory ones. And that should be everything we need to get going. So before we get going, I'm going to clean up that area that is just covered with dirt, even though you're not going to see it. Just for fun, why not? Alright, Alright, so back under the car, we're going to start replacing these fasteners. So I'm just going to go through and check and see which ones are broken and which ones aren't, and which ones may be missing. And if they're loose or broken, like this one it looks like we just found, then I'm just going to replace it. So we'll just grab this loose one. See, look at that, missing a couple prongs. And we'll just take this new one and we'll put it in its spot here. And we're just going to do that all the way up the car. So we'll get that one in. So now we'll move up. We'll keep checking. We'll throw the bad one away. And up here, it looks like there's one missing. You can see right there, there's a hole in the skirting, but nothing was there. So we'll just add a new one up in there, and we're golden. And just do that all the way from the front to the back or back to the front, and make sure all of your fastener supports are in. Alright guys, so actually there's one more up front. Like I said, make sure that you have everything done from front to back or back to front. And there's one more, same example. You can see the hole in the skirting here where the fastener goes through, and you can see the hole in the frame where the support goes through. And so I'm just going to go ahead and grab this one, and you can see how they're lined up. I'll be able to put this right in there, and again we'll just tap it up to make sure that we have something to secure the side skirt to. Alright, so that should be all of them now. Alright guys, so we're back under the car again, and what I'm doing is I'm taking a fastener and I'm going up in the ones that I didn't change, the ones that were still original BMW ones, and I'm making sure that they still function. And I'm finding out that I can't get this fastener in there. It's not threaded in, so there's something wrong with it. So I'm going to go ahead and take a pair of pliers here, and we're going to pull this out and replace it with a new one. So we'll go ahead and rip this bad boy out. It's going to take a little bit of muscle power here to get this out, but it'll be well worth it. Alright, and there it is. And it's out. And look at that. The threads are still in there. So the last fastener is still in there. The head just sheared off when the skirt got delodged, when the curb got hit. And so we're probably going to have to do that with a couple of them. But since we got that one out, let's get our new one in, and let's continue to go down the line and check those. I bet you we will find more exactly like that, where the head's just sheared off. So let's take our fastener and put it in there and see if it threads in or if it doesn't thread in, and we're just going to go through and check those, and if they need to be replaced, then they will be replaced. Alright, so here we are back at the back, and there is this spacer plate, okay, and it actually takes two of those snap-in supports. It's not really support in this case, it's more of a clip nut, something to thread the fastener into, but it takes two in there. And I'll pull it out here and I'll show you. So you can see the one on the front that I'm working on now, and then there's this other hole in the back, and it looks like this fastener, or the retaining clip, had a fastener in it already. So let me take that fastener out real quick and we will snap that in there. So that fastener aside, and we'll go ahead and we'll put this in here, snap that in, and then we'll go ahead and put that back in, and then the bottom skirting with the side skirt will meld together and go through those two fastener holes. So there's two holes underneath in there. We'll just line those up and give it a quick little tap in the front and a tap in the back, and there we go. It's in. All right, so now let's move on from there to the next item at hand. So we'll slide up here a little bit, and we're going to get the jack block. Yeah, the jack block goes in next. Right here it is. So after we made sure all of our supports are in, we don't need any more of those. Throw those aside. Let's go ahead and line up the new jack block with the holes. So there's 3 holes in there for each 3 piece for it to snap into, and we'll just snap it on in there, and there it is. Nice and snug, it's in there. So that's not going anywhere. So now, yep, all right, yep, good. So after that's in, now we're gonna go and make sure all of the clips are correct. So if you look at all these yellow clips all the way down the side, you can see you're going to want to orient them the correct way. You're going to want all these little snaps on the top. That's what's going to hit in the skirt, the little narrow part at the top. So we need to go down the whole line and make sure that they're all the correct way. Well, see, there's one. We'll flip that one over, so that they're all on the top and that they're all level, so that the skirt will just snap right into it. Alright, and so we'll bring the skirt over, move everything out of the way, and we will put the skirt on. Alright guys, so we'll flip this over, and I'm going to show you here all those snaps that we lined up on the top. They're going to go into this bar right here. And the offset one right there in the back, you'll see is offset right there. So we'll just make sure everything is level and a straight line so it snaps in nice and easy, and we'll get that all set up. Alright, and then also we're going to want to make sure that the other skirting underneath the car, let's go look at that, because all of this is skirted underneath here, right? So you've got this other skirt that's on the bottom that BMWs have for aerodynamics, so that the wind just goes right underneath the car. We've got to make sure that that lines up as well with the side skirt. So you're going to have to line it up with the yellow clips, and the bottom will line it up. And yeah, my knee was on a rock. We're going to get rid of that. That hurt a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and line all this up so that we can snap it back on there. And this is going to give us some trouble here, because also remember that we have this little wheel well liner that we also have to count for with the 2 8mm bolts, and you can see the clip nuts on the back of that skirt. So back here you've got multiple things going on. You've got the wheel well liner, you've got the bottom skirt, and you've got the side skirt, and you've got to make sure that it all gets lined up in the groove and set up correctly in their layers, so that it all goes back together. So the skirt goes underneath the wheel well liner, but on top of the bottom skirting to hold it up. So it's a little bit of a puzzle in the back, but once you get that done, the rest of it's easy. You don't have that issue in the front at all. So we just got to get it up there and get everything aligned, and once we get it, then it'll be all good. There, it's like a puzzle, because you have to make sure everything's in the right spot. So now you can see we have it all lined up, right? This is on the outside, this is going over those, this is underneath this piece. You see all that? So now what we're gonna do is, we know those yellow pieces are right here. Can you see all this, Nana? You zoomed out enough?
Yeah.
Okay, we know those are right there, so we're just gonna snap them in, okay? And now that's holding that there for you. See that? See, it's holding it. So we'll just get that up in there, and we'll get a couple of those to hold that on while we line this all back up. It's not quite there. Nope, we went too far. I need a screw. I need one of those screws. Where are the screws at?
Behind you.
Okay. So, you getting this, Nana?
Underneath?
Yeah. So you're gonna want to see how this will still move back and forth like this. So we're gonna want to line up all our holes. There's our 2 holes for our screws for the pieces we added. So we want to make sure we get everything lined up. Right, and we want to get this lined up right there. So here's these screws that go in here, right? So we'll take our little screws that went in there, we'll line all this back up. Get our other screw, you got that? And we'll put that right there. We're gonna make sure everything is lined up. And I need my 8mm. So here's my 8mm, and we will just spin this a little bit, spin this a little bit. Right, and get those where we need them. Alright, so now we have that on, we're going to start putting the yellow clips in. So just tap it where you know the clips are at and it'll snap into place. But like I said before, it's a puzzle and you've got to make sure that everything is lined up. So now I'm going to make sure that the front is lined up so that we have a straight line, and also I have to make sure that the bottom skirting is all the way at the bottom and the side skirt goes inside of it. You can see right there, I pull that down and slide it inside, and now the skirting will go on into the clips once we have it in the correct orientation. So now we should be able to just pop those clips in, and you can see as I pop them in, this little ridge right here will close and it'll go into the car. So now we just go all the way along, make sure that it's all snapped in, make sure that the gap is even and level, and we will move on to the next step. Okay, and that is going to be putting all the fasteners underneath. Oh my god, my fucking wrench just broke. How fucking gay is that?
What? It broke?
There should be a knob right there.
That's terrible.
There it is right here. Look at that.
What? That's so sad.
Just fucking snapped right in half. Wow.
That's so sad.
That's fucking so gay. Are you recording that?
Yeah.
Alright guys, we're at the end of another video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something and got something out of it. Hopefully you'll click that subscribe button and check out some of my other videos, and I'll have some new content coming out shortly. Alright, see you in the next video.